If you have an empty space in your garden that you'd like to fill with rustic elements and charming decor, then you're in the right place. Hey there, my name is Sandra and you're watching The Schwowin's Nest. And I'd like to thank HomCom and OutSunny for sponsoring today's video. I love using terracotta pots in my backyard, and I have a whole bunch of them. Some came brand new from the dollar store. This one was from the thrift store. It was $5.99, less 20%. What I'm going to do with this one is just go over it, dry brushing with this paintbrush that already had some blue paint on it. I didn't load any more paint on it because I want a lot of that terracotta color to show through. Then I'll add some white just to give it more dimension. I think it turned out really great, and I love the blue in contrast with all of the green in my garden. To dull down the white and add some more texture, I'm going to dab it off with this towel. Both of these medium-sized pots are brand new. I picked them up at my local dollar store, and I'm using some of that white that is diluted with some water on the sponge brush. And you can see that it's going to drip everywhere, and that is totally fine. This is going to be sort of a whitewashed pot with a bunch of grunge on it. So I'm going to give it a couple of coats of this, let it dry almost completely, and then I'm going to add some other things to make it look really old and weathered. I'm in my backyard doing these projects, so it was really easy just to turn around and pull some dirt out of one of my planters. I'm just going to be rubbing it all over the pot in some areas, not necessarily everywhere, but wherever the paint was still a little bit damp is where the dirt will pull in really well. I even dipped my finger in some of the little wet paint spots that were on the cardboard so I could pick up a little extra dirt and make it even more grungy. A lot of times on aged terracotta pots, you'll see a little bit of green, sort of like some moss growing or something on it. So I grabbed one of the leaves from my bushes and I started just rubbing it all over. And you can see a little bit of the green is starting to come off the leaf and right onto the pot. And I thought this was just a really fun way to add some more color without actually painting it. Thank you to HomCom and OutSunny for sending me this gorgeous 10-foot cantilever umbrella. Now let's go for a visit to my lake house. I'm going to be installing the OutSunny cantilever umbrella that is 10 feet in diameter. And this is the metal base that comes with it. I'm going to be putting it on the corner of our deck here because that's where the sun comes. And I want to be able to give us some shade on these hot summer days that I know are coming ahead. This was really super easy to install and put together. Not very many pieces, and I was able to do the majority of it by myself. I also received a 4-piece base system that sits on top of those metal pieces, but first they need to be filled with either sand or water, and I chose water because that would be the easiest for me. They get quite heavy, so I put them in my wheelbarrow so I could take them down to the lake 2 at a time. Next, I just have to slide in all of the base pieces, and once I have 4 of them in, I can lock them together with the included hardware pieces. I did need my hubby's help to hold on to the umbrella portion itself so I could get it into the pole. There are 4 grooves on the top of the base pole so you can adjust the direction of your umbrella, and then you simply lock it in place. Normally, we've always had 3 umbrellas up, 1 on the table and 2 off to the side, to be able to cover our complete deck and give everyone the shade that they need. But with this Out Sunny cantilever umbrella that is 10 feet in diameter, it covers our complete deck, and all we'll need is 1 umbrella. One of the things that I love most about this umbrella is its ability to swing with the wind, and you can see that being demonstrated right here. You don't have to worry about it being torn because of the wind gusts, and we get them pretty strong sometimes. The main benefits of a cantilever umbrella is that you can change its direction. I have now made it almost vertical standing up, and this will give us the maximum amount of shade possible when the sun is at its highest peak during the day. Down in my description box, you will find a link to Amazon Canada, and I will also have both the umbrella and the base available in my US Amazon store. Make sure you go check them out. I believe you can also get them in different colors, but I love the green. With that being said, let's get back to crafting with these terracotta pots. This is a sort of off-white, almost a gray toned paint, and I'm going to give this pot a couple of really good thick coats because I want it to stay this white color. This technique is something that you should try. It's really fun, and you get more of a stone-like texture on your pots or whatever project you're doing. I'm using this light brown paint called Coffee Bean, and it's from Folk Art, and a damp paper towel, and I'm literally just going to be sponging it on until I get the texture that I'm looking for. 2 tips I can give you. Start off with a light touch because you can always deepen the color, but it's a little bit harder to take it away. Then make sure that you're changing the direction of your paper towel because you don't want to get a particular pattern. You want this to look very random. For the next layer, I wanted a really rich, deep brown. I didn't have any paint colors like that, so I grabbed my salmon wood stain. It's a water-based stain in the color dark walnut, and it's a beautiful, rich color. I'm going to use the same paper towel, and I'm going to do the same dabbing technique. My paper towel is damp, and I'm going to be adding just a little bit of this color, and it's going to just bring out even more depth and dimension, give it a really fun texture. It's beautiful. There is a stone spray that gives you this kind of look, and it gives you a little bit of texture as well. But up here in Ontario, Canada, it's about $30 a can, and I'm just not willing to pay that. So using these types of techniques gives me the same look without that high-end price. This pot already had this color painted on it, so I decided to just use a few colors of spray paint to give it more of a stone look as well, but kind of a little bit more organic. I'm going to be using this fuzzy moss color first, light touch as usual, and wherever I get a really dark spray, I'll probably just adjust that. I ended up wanting to do sort of an ombre look. I do add a little bit of extra color on the bottom of the pot, as you can see me doing here. Now I'm going to take some white and some black and just kind of give random spritzes all over the pot until I get the texture that I'm looking for, the color that I'm looking for, and until I like it and I don't want to go any further. These types of projects are very based on what you love, so it doesn't matter if it turns out differently than what I'm showing you here. I just want to inspire you to create things for your home and garden that you really love. For this last pot, it's going to be super simple. I'm just going to be dampening the pot down a little bit, and then I'm going to dip that damp paper towel in some dirt and literally just rub it all over the pot. I want this to look like it's a brand new pot, but it's maybe only been out for one season. So it's really not that aged yet, but it does have the look of getting there. Once I was done with that, I took my finger, I dipped it into that sort of grayish white color that I had used on a previous pot, and I'm just using my fingers to just blend it in and give it more of an aged look too. Terracotta pots are famous for aging with a little bit of white, so I thought that would be perfect just to add more dimension and texture. When I realized I had a hole in my glove, I just took my gloves off and used the paper towel to finish it off. For my garden bench, I also wanted to have something where I could hang a few things or maybe even add a little bit of a shelf just to add some height to the project. So I took all of these old pieces, I cut some of them down using my miter saw, and I'm going to screw them all together so they look like a fence. I'm using 2.5-inch screws and my cordless impact driver, and it just makes the job so much easier when you have the right tools. I'll screw on all the pieces at the top first, and then I'm going to flip it around and screw the bottom pieces on too. I flipped the fence piece over because I want to use the cross beams for adding some more decor. This little half wall terracotta pot I've had in my stash forever. I added a few succulents and some greenery at the top. The wreath I found at the thrift store for about $5. It's seen better days, but I loved the colors of it, so I thought I would put it outside on this fence piece. And if it gets wrecked, well, it was only $5, so that's not a big deal. I'm putting 2 screws in, one at the top to hang it and one at the bottom, and then I'm going to add some cable ties or zip ties to make sure that it stays on and doesn't blow off. You can see how windy it is today. I wonder if any of you noticed the little friend that I have on my deck with me today, and her name is Puppy. She comes to my side door when she's ready for some sunflower seeds, and I've even gotten her to let me pet her. I screwed a piece of deck board into the bottom cross beam, and that gave me a little shelf to add some cute things to. For the last piece of decor for my rustic garden bench, I'm using this piece of scrap wood. It's not even cut straight, but I don't care. The same sort of grayish white color that I used on one of the pots, and I'm just going to do a very rough coat and then let it dry. I'm going to be stenciling on Fresh Flower Market with this cute little stencil that I picked up at Hobby Lobby many years ago with some blue paint that I used on the first pot. I'm not being too careful how I stencil. I want it to look rustic and old and weathered, and it turned out perfect. Let's take a look at how my rustic garden bench turned out. This bench has been with me for many, many years. They were in the basement at my mom's place. When she moved out, I grabbed them and they have been sitting outside in my backyard for many years. They had this really orangey color. You can see that a little bit, but they're finally starting to get weathered. They're looking perfect. I love how everything came together, and I hope you love it too.
Running wild. Yeah, the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The glass so loud as the hours.
Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some inspiration to create your own rustic terracotta pots. Wherever your garden is, make it a joyful space to enjoy. Thanks again to HomCom and OutSunny for sponsoring today's video. If you're interested in getting a huge umbrella like I did, make sure you go down to my description box and check out the link. See you in the next one.